What's up, guys? If you are into music reaction channels that are honest, raw, and authentic, look no further. You found your destination. It is the Tazzz and Philly Show. Welcome to our journey.
And make sure that you subscribe below and enjoy the show.
What is good, you sexy son of a guns? It is Philly. That is Tazzz. It is a Tazzz and Philly Show, and we are back with another reaction video. What is good, everybody? It is Philly and Tazzz, and I think Mr. Rogers, as he's sitting over there with his Mr. Rogers fucking sweater. And how you doing, sir? How's it going today? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you, sir. Coughs a lot. I'm doing very well, thank you.
Could you be mine? Anyway, so Fred Rogers and I,
swag,
Mr. Rogers and I are back with another reaction video, and we are going down a somewhat familiar rabbit hole, as we did react to this gentleman, yesterday, I guess. That is Marcelito Pomoy. He's doing a song called Hallelujah, which is the Pentatonix version. Tazzz seems to be familiar with that group. I've heard of them. I'm not totally sure I know much of what they do specifically.
Woo!
But learning a little bit about this guy, understanding that he won, what was it? It was either America's Got Talent or some voice, right, show. I think I got that right.
I think you're right. AGT, America's Got Talent. Yeah, I believe so.
Right. He was homeless for a while. And I mean, his story is obviously pretty inspirational. Guy has a phenomenal voice. And the fact that he was able to do Botticelli and Celine Dion as being one person singing two parts, male and female, it was kind of extraordinary. So I'm curious to see what this is. Obviously, the guy's super talented, but I have no clue. Now, I know what the song Hallelujah is, but I don't know how he's going to do it. So.
Well, here's the thing that I'm waiting to see. We already were bewildered hearing him sing two parts.
Yes.
Pentatonix is 5 people. Now, I don't know if he's going to do 5 parts or not. Now, they don't necessarily all sing on every song. Sometimes, one does like beatbox, one does like the bass, and like 2 or 3 will sing. But there are some songs when all 5 sing. So I don't remember how they did it on Hallelujah. But regardless, he's going to probably be singing more than one voice. So this is going to be interesting, since we were marveled how he did 2 yesterday. And one of the people in Pentatonix is a female, so we just might hear him do that type of tone again. So I'm pretty excited to hear this for the first time. I've heard the song many times by Pentatonix, and I cheered them on every week. And then they finally won, and then they blew up from the sing-off, and like they're just fantastic. They have so many songs, just amazing. So I've never heard it sang by Marcelito. So going from 5 people and their dynamics to now 1 is going to be entertaining for me. So anything else you want to say, or shall we hit play?
Yeah, I'd like to get into it, because we can't react to it if you don't press play. And frankly, you're taking up a lot of time just with a lot of unnecessary noise, and nobody wants to put the
See what I have to deal with, everyone. See what I have to deal with. All right, let me press play. I can't hear you. Sorry, can't hear you.
I've heard there was a secret chord that they be played and it plays the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall, the major lift, the Babel king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to the kitchen chair, she broke your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips it rolled a hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Well, baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I walk this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch. And love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Well, maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love, but how to shoot somebody who outthrew you. And it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
I was curious. I know the guy's not he's not American. Obviously, he sings all these songs in English. I was wondering, I mean, he said thank you at the end of that. So I was wondering if he was like an English speaker or he just sang the songs in English, but he doesn't really speak English. Because I've heard bands do that. There's an Indian band I saw that did a cover of a Metallica song. They don't speak English, but they do the entire song in English, which is interesting. It's kind of cool. So I'm curious with him. But the fact that he said thank you very much, I don't know. Maybe he does.
Well, I
Either
mean,
way, though,
some people who can't speak English learn like the basics, like hello, thank you. If I read it correctly, somebody in the comments of the song we did yesterday, the prayer, had described him as what you just said about that other group. Like he doesn't speak American, or at least he didn't back then. I don't know if
American.
times change.
Doesn't
He
speak
will
American?
learn. He will learn how to sing the song just for that song. Like he listens to it for like hours, or for like a week, I think someone said in the comments, and learn the song in that language, even if he doesn't speak that language. Like that's just
impressive.
amazing.
That's impressive. But what language is American? I'm just curious. Do you have any idea what language that might be? The American
it's
language?
It's so let me tell you,
What the fuck?
I loved it. I mean, I was impressed. Like I didn't know how to react at first because Mind you, every time I've heard this song, it's been by Pentatonix. So my brain is like, we're going from 5 to 1. But his layers, and I knew what parts were which. So I knew when he was singing the female part, I forget her name. But the one part which is by Mitch, I remember when I saw the sing off, because I watched that faithfully. The one of the judges from Boys to Men, I forgot his name too. He said to Mitch, and I can quote this. He's like, Mitch, you have one of the prettiest voices I have ever heard in my life. And that's a compliment. I mean, even though Mitch is a guy, like his voice is so clear and crisp. And when Marcelito, sorry, I'm bad with names initially. When Marcelino sang that part that I knew was Mitch's, he sang it, it sounded just like Mitch. And that's a huge compliment because Mitch has that voice. It can just, if his voice turned into a dart or a nail or something, it could just pierce, go right through the wall or whatever. That's how piercing and sharp it was in a good way. So I was really impressed. And this video was one that I had picked because the one that was at the top, just so everybody knows, what I do is I mute it and then I go through it to make sure it's the right thing. So it looked like it was a lot of still shots. And I was trying to see if there was something where he was actually like live and not like still shots of just him singing. So this is the one that I found, which sounded great to me. So I hope everybody's happy with that. But yeah, so I mean, for him to do a cover of Pentatonix, to me, I marveled the fact that he picked, oh, let me sing from 5 people. And he changed his voice. You can hear the variations when he changed his voice. And then that music that was playing behind him was really, really good too. So I was very impressed with all of that. What do you have to say, Philly?
Well, I'm familiar with the song. I don't know that I've ever heard Pentatonix do it. Because like I guess that's not a Pentatonix song, correct? That is a song that Pentatonix did a remake of, I believe.
Yeah, right. It's not their song, right?
Right. Okay.
Kirsten. I was thinking Kirsten. I'm sorry. The female in Pentatonix is Kirsten. I kind of thought of that, but I wasn't sure enough, so I didn't want to mess it up. So I just looked it up on Google.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, all right. Well, no, okay. So I've heard that song before. Obviously, I've never heard one person do anything like that, like with multiple parts. Obviously, outside of when we listened to him the other day, it's certainly a unique ability that he has to be able to sing kind of amazingly in two different sounds like two different genders. It's really quite remarkable. So with that being said, like I appreciate all of that, his ability, his singing voice. Not my like favorite cup of tea on song. I don't dislike it. It's not something I would necessarily go run out of my way for, but I can appreciate it for what it was, which is a good song. It's a beautiful song. He sung it well. It's just not my cup of tea as far as like my go-to on music, but I can still appreciate it nonetheless. And the kid has absolutely remarkable ability. So with all that, I mean, I couldn't be more impressed with how he's able to switch like that. But I mean, he's obviously super talented, so I'm sure he can do. I mean, God knows all the different types of music he can actually do because he pretty much mocks everybody that he sings. You know, that he replicates almost identically. It's really quite remarkable, frankly.
I forget how long ago they said that he won, but I would imagine he doesn't just do covers.
Sure.
We read everything in the comments, but forgive me, I can't remember everything that I read, so I don't imagine that he only sings covers. Maybe initially he did make it his rendition, but I would imagine he has his own songs out. Before I forget, because we usually say shout outs at the beginning, and forgive me, for some reason, for the first time I forgot to say it at the beginning. This particular song is a shout out to Christine Taylor. So I wanted to give you a shout out. So this is for you. Thank you. I hope I said your first name right. If not, I apologize. But yeah, back to yes, thank you. Back to this. Yeah, I was just marveled. I love this song in general. I think a lot of people have sang this song through the course of time. So because it sounds like I've heard it. I mean, I know I've heard it more times even before Pentatonix came to be. But then when Pentatonix came, and mind you, it's not one person, it was 5 of them. You said you never really Well, I know you didn't watch the sing off, Philly, and you probably never heard of Pentatonix or actual singing, but they have layers. There's one guy that does the bass. There's one guy that usually does the beatbox, and then you have three singers. Two are men and one is female. So they perfectly layer songs. Like on the sing off, they had to sing songs as covers, and the one that made me fall in love with them happened to be the final show. It was "The Dog Days Are Over" by I forget the name of the group. Something in the Machines.
Jesus
something in the
Christ.
Machines. I forget. I apologize. But you know, "The Dog Days Are Over." They took that to church, and like it was so like it pumped you up, and like and then the way they were moving on stage, and they were getting closer and closer to the judges. Oh my God! It was a situation where it pulled me into through the TV because that's how powerful it was. And then that was the winning song, which made them win. And I was so happy to find out that they became successful because you never know. I think it comes down to the agent that you get or whatever. Because I don't even think the sing off was required. Like you got a recording contract. I don't know if you won just money or if it was a recording contract. Regardless, they're still here today and they're still amazing. And then some have done like their own thing. One of the guys from the original Pentatonix had left to do his own thing. And then they replaced him. But in any event, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I love this song. Let's vote.
Are you sure? You sure you
I'm sure.
You sure you want to keep going?
I figured I need to give Pentatonix some props since Marcelito's singing their version. So, and anyway,
Fair
go
enough.
ahead.
No, I've heard of Pentatonix. I couldn't tell you like if you were like name a song. I mean, I obviously can name this one now, but prior to that, I wouldn't have been able to name anything. So.
I'll send you their version of Hallelujah so you can listen to it like when you're driving to work or whatever, okay?
Oh, great. So I could fall asleep while I'm driving and hit a fucking street sign? No, I'm kidding. Send it to me. I'll definitely listen to it. But but with that being said, let's get into the rating. And thank you for the request. It was cool listening to that because certainly unique. But anybody new to the channel or anybody that's been here, you obviously know what we do. This is a rating system that we have, a 2 rating system called Ass or Pass. It's thumbs up or thumbs down, pretty self-explanatory. If it sucked, we give it a thumbs down because it's ass. If we like it, we give it a thumbs up because we pass it. And that's pretty much that. And Tazzz will count to 3. I will drum roll. We will rate this bad boy. And then we will move on to the next reaction video. Tazzz,
yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Marcelito, you did it again. You did it again. Very
Marcelito.
Impressive. Very, very impressive. Let me tell you something.
It is impressive. For me, like I said, I'm passing it because I obviously understand his talents. He is quite impressive with his singing range. Not a fan of the song specifically. It wasn't my favorite. It's not my cup of tea specifically. However, I'm basing it off of just the pure brilliance of his voice and how he's able to do what he does. And I can't.
Because he can sing. Right.
He can sing. He sings his ass off.
Right.
It's just not my favorite genre, but that's not a reason to dislike it. So therefore, I passed the song. And Tazzz, I know you already love it. I love it.
I love it.
Fucking an hour.
I love it for 1,000%. I love that song. So, and I love his rendition of it too. So yeah. But yes, that's perfect because you love it because he can sing. It doesn't mean it's just like if I heard a country song that said, "Wow, I normally don't like country, but they sang it really, really good." Doesn't mean I'll go put it on my playlist because I don't really listen to country music. But I appreciated it because it sounded good. Like everything about it was amazing. Like there's nothing to say about it except, oh, okay, I normally like heavy metal, but I don't listen to country. It's sort of like that thing. You don't listen to country, but since you listened to it that time, you liked it, but you're going back to heavy metal, basically.
Yeah, you don't have to love something to still appreciate and understand that it is pretty spectacular. Like, you know.
Yeah, as long as it's good, as long as you're not like, oh my God, turn it off, it's horrible. Like then yeah.
It's kind of like opera, right? You don't love opera, but you can listen to an opera singer's voice and go, obviously that guy has an amazing voice. Like he's got it super talented, but it's just not something I
no straight out opera where it's like 1,000% opera and if it's off key to me or if the music behind it is just I don't jive with it, I cannot like it. But have that being said, I have not heard That's what I'm talking about. His voice. I have not heard every opera song out there, so I'm not the type of person to just stereotype and say, "Oh, I don't like opera music." Period. I just listened to a lot that I haven't liked. Now, yesterday, when he sang his parts of Bocelli, and that was opera, it was beautiful. But it wasn't the whole song A, and then he had baritone in it, and it was clarity. It wasn't like he was singing it in French, where I don't know what they're saying, or any language I don't know what they're saying. It was beautiful. So, yeah, that was a perfect example of, if I like it, I like it. I don't care what genre it is, but I'm not going to go and put opera all on my playlist. Basically, that's the best way I could say it. Close us out of here.
Okay, after that whole tangent, thank you guys so much for being here. You spent the last 20 minutes or so listening to Tazzz and I react, and 18 of those minutes was Tazzz blabbing. So we thank you for being here. If you're still here and you haven't fallen asleep, we appreciate it. So from myself,
Asshole.
Philly, that asshole Tazzz, it is the Tazzz and Philly show. We'll be back soon. It'll be him. It'll be me. It'll be his Mr. Rogers sweater. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Hurry up, Sir Coughs a lot. Let's
Have a
go.
wonderful night and peace.
And take it easy and keep it breezy.